The regime episode 5 sees Chancellor Elian Vernum's reign slowly coming apart all around her, while the people take back their country. All Ye Faithful picks up 6 months on from the regime episode 4, with Zubak, Matthias Schoenaerts, having reunited with Elena, Kate Winslet, following his brief imprisonment. The two have also started a romance, but All Ye Faithful sees Elena's many terrible decisions finally catching up with her. Between annexing the Fabon corridor, entering into a terrible trade deal with China, and framing the sugar beet union protesters as insurgents, her rule is left hanging by a thread. The regime episode 5 sees the Chancellor trying to ignore the impending end of her rule during the Christmas period, as those within her cabinet and palace feel the end approaching. All Ye Faithful closes on a game-changing note for the HBO series, and it will be interesting to see Elena's next move when the regime's finale comes around. The Westgate resistance overthrow the Chancellor's government. The resistance finally brings Elena's rule to an end. Throughout the regime's 5th episode, there are constant reminders that the Westgate resistance is inching closer and closer to the palace doors. Explosions are heard in the distance, while on-screen text periodically reveals how far away they are. The Chancellor, naturally, wants to pretend this isn't happening and tries to focus on the impending Christmas celebrations. When the resistance later seizes the TV stations of the regime's unnamed country, Vernum realizes there is no stopping them anymore. In All Ye Faithful's closing scenes, the resistance finally storms the palace and overtakes it. Zubak has his men defend the palace as he pulls Elena to safety, with the two managing to escape into some tunnels during the ensuing chaos. Vernum's ministers escape via helicopter, though where Zubak and Elena can go now that most of the nation has turned against them is the key question. Agnes is shot dead by the rebels. Andrea Riseborough as palace manager was the regime's most sympathetic character. The regime cast some incredible actors to support Winslet, though the standout has been Andrea Riseborough as Agnes. The beleaguered palace manager was the show's most sympathetic character by a considerable margin. Agnes remained loyal to the Chancellor throughout. This is in spite of Vernum endangering Agnes' epileptic son Oscar, Louis Minot, by insisting on using Zubak's inefficient natural remedies, which led to the boy having a seizure. In the aftermath, Elena essentially made Oscar her own child, while giving Agnes occasional alone time with him. All Ye Faithful sees Agnes being given a chance to escape the country with Oscar, and she plans to take it. Tragically, Agnes is caught in the palace when the resistance storms in and is shot and killed while trying to escape. Even more so than Hugh Grant's Keplinger being killed in the regime episode 4, Agnes' demise is a genuine shock. The regime episode 5 makes it clear that 13,000 civilians have died since the civil conflict began, but Agnes' sudden demise is the first time the miniseries has put a human face to that violence. There is also the question of what will happen to Oscar now, whom she was trying to reach before being killed by the rebels.